Test, test. Hello, hello. Let's see what we got here. We got something there. Got something there. Spit this gum out. Get the chat up. Patreon page there. Some work stuff. Hello everybody, in case you're here. Deuces Wild, hello, hello. How are you tonight? It is a very Merry Christmas and a very Merry Christmas to you as well. Very nice. I'm glad you had your pop-up on. Glad you had the bell. Thank you very much. Always great. Eric RC, how are you tonight? Hello. Merry Christmas indeed. 4 people in the room already. Hangar 51 with a big old Merry Christmas. All caps reminds me of Wreck-'em Roy. So we have the Zoom session up tonight. I will ask you guys, just verify for me that you can hear my voice if you would, and let me know if there's any distractions or anything in any way. Boys, Merry Christmas. That could be a Vic entrance right there. Definitely. How are you, Victor Shamulus? Pop out this chat. So you guys know I'm running both the Zoom for a meeting and the YouTube for a meeting. So I want to show the chat in here as well. Hangar 51 says right now is perfect. I like that. That's good stuff. Chilling and killing. So did Victor, did your lady buy anything for you from afar? What did you open for Christmas? Merry Christmas, says the Gooniac. Merry Christmas, peoples. Good stuff. And he gave us some white Christmas trees. So Gooniac, you don't get too much snow out there, do you? Soon, just her. Yeah. So that's a little TMI, Victor, that you're going to be soon just unwrapping her. Hangar 51 says, hello, deuces. 0 here. Down near sea level. Oh, yeah, 0 snow. Certainly not 0 temperature. I thought you were saying 0 temperature. Snow? Not in that part of California. Yeah, that's that white stuff, Victor. It comes down from the sky. Kind of like rain, but really different. Colin Air shows. Thanks for stopping in. Saying hello. Merry Christmas. No matter how long you stay, we certainly appreciate it. You know, as a reminder, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up. Always helps. Gooniac says he used to live at 2,000 feet. Yeah, that's a little bit different. 0 to 2,000, and that's cool that you're like, say, sea level, and you're being affected by the sea. You know, not like the middle of the country or something. Oh, I'm down near sea level. Well, you're in a basin and you got mountains surrounding you. You know. Yeah, a little bit of snow up at 2,000 feet, definitely. Down by the river. Oh man, I gotta get my kids watching some Christmas poo from shoot, now I'm blanking on the South Park show. Pretty close to the water. And my brother's in Massachusetts, and it's similar weather to yours, or at least affected by the ocean. It's one of the more mild areas of Massachusetts. Hello, Wayne Lee. It is definitely good to see everybody in this chat. A very Merry Christmas special. 9 people in the room. So one of the things I'd like to know from you guys is, what is it that you got for Christmas? Please do put it in the chat. Let us know. I'll start talking about some of the things to get us started that I got. One of them that makes me feel like a very happy little boy inside is a Traxxas Summit. The reason I did get that, and I'm finding out, that there's other two-wheel drives or 2 speeds and locking diffs, but this Traxxas Summit is, it definitely has both. It has that long history as well as a proven platform, tough. It's not going to be so fast, and I'm not going to break it. That's what I don't want to do, is I don't want to break it. And I found out with the first vehicle that I got, $200, that as soon as I dropped in the LiPo battery and I changed the motors on it, I lowered the T count. Good evening, Eric. How are you tonight? Nice to see you. Hey, Craig. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Yeah, so as soon as I dropped that LiPo in it, I took it out to a parking lot and I smacked the pole. And I'm like, you know what? This thing, I don't want to break it anymore. So then I went from, okay, let me get the motor with the lowest T count to let me get the motor with the highest T count. And then you throw in, if you really want to go fast, you can throw it in on a 3S LiPo under cold weather with the top off, so you get the air past it, so it'll cool the ESC and the motor, and it's all good. But it's only supposed to run 2S. But now I got this one because it's like I don't want to run all that fast. I also did get like Wayne Lee, I got the GoPro 7 Black, and I've actually unboxed that, or not unboxed, but opened it now and used it for a few days now at work, filming some things with a 3D printer and some hyperlapse. Filmed me unloading some boxes from the truck, getting the forklift, going in and out of the warehouse, along with took a ride on the forklift itself. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to put a GoPro on a plane. And was it Thompson's Hangar? Hello, Thompson. That was asking about that as well. Interested in that part of it is GoPro Quick on the desktop. You can do it within the app. But I'm not familiar with it. I don't want to give out bad advice. But the one that I filmed it inside, so I didn't have GPS data. But you got to make sure you have your GPS data on, and it will record it. And then once you get it off the camera and you're in post-processing, you can choose to add either on the desktop within the Quick software or within the app itself. You can choose to add it. If I had my phone, I feel like I should. I don't know what I would have done with it, but that's all right. So yeah, I was going to try and show it to you within the app. So if you do have that GoPro 7, hey, check it out. So, and Wayne Lee said he got something, and then some 3 and 4S batteries. Oh yeah, got the GoPro 7, and that is definitely nice. So what did anybody else get? Did my chat like freeze or something? Or is nobody posting what they got? Just listening to what I got. One Charlie RC. Charlie is an RC brother from another mother. So that is awesome. Huh. Definitely. So 11 Charlie, that's infantry. Yeah, all right. Good stuff. And he's definitely, so when I hear 11, that basically means infantry, and then you got like say Bravo or Charlie. That's what you're classified as a specialty. Mortarman, okay. Good stuff. So infantry and mortar. I'm going to welcome, if everyone else would also welcome 11 Charlie or Mortar Infantryman RC brother from another mother to the room while I give him a wrench. And thank you for stopping in. I hope you stick around for a while. Definitely here. I am a equipment operator, along with I was a combat engineer for a while, and I was airborne in a combat unit. Had 550 days in Afghanistan here, over 2 tours. I don't know, just got here myself. So EQ's asking something. What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas. Oh, definitely 11 Charlie. Iraq, good stuff. Thank you for your service as well. What kind of equipment? Not sure who he's asking on that one. Let's see. And then Guniak said, first year my oldest, who will be 20 next month, is with his girlfriend's family. Awesome, Guniak. I mean, that's kind of like bittersweet, right? If it's your oldest and they're not home, but they're with their girlfriend and their family, and you know, you see that potential. Good stuff. Mike SSI, Merry Christmas. Nice to see you. And the wonderful Rhonda, I tell you what, guys, she worked hard. She worked really hard. She put together a wonderful Christmas for my kids. My brother came to town, and she managed to get him some things as well. Looked very good on him, and the kids love him. So it was a great time here. And she was going to cook us a ham dinner tonight, but I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to push it. We're going to do that tomorrow night. I took them out for Chinese food tonight at our favorite restaurant, Empire Buffet. Okay. So I operated C-Trucks, which is small placement excavator. I operated graders, loaders, dump trucks. My first specialty is C-Truck operator, and that's one of the reasons why that person can go to a combat engineer platoon. And then when I was actually in the combat engineer platoon, though, I received route reconnaissance and clearance training in Home of the Engineers, Fort Leonard Wood. So then I was in a V-hole armored vehicle at the front of the convoy, leading the convoy in basically what is a cockpit. You get into it like an airplane, and it has metal detectors on the side that say go up and down. And as you roll over, you're going to hear it right ear, left ear. And then you have to say back up onto the explosive device. You know, you take your precautions so that nobody's remote detonating it on top of you, and you have electronics equipment at that time as well to keep it from exploding wirelessly. But if it's wired, you know, and then outside of that, your protective perimeter, they can still blow you up. But, you know, by the grace of God and angels on my shoulders, I didn't get blown up over there, and that vehicle would have been fine. It would have just deflected the blast. But yeah, you have to say then paint the IED on the ground as to where people should dig. You know what I mean? Because you got a metal detector, and eventually they'll come up. Yeah, mine detector. Metal, mine, you know. It has to be metal. And they'll come up with a metal detector, and then at the same time too, the guys, some of the hoorah guys in our platoon, they'll just come up and be like, just dig it out. And you're sitting there like watching them going, holy crap, yeah, IED. And you know, but they're trained, and what are you going to do anyway? If it's your time, it's your time. So good stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of, and then some of the things I did was operate cranes. When there's a vehicle-based IED coming over the border from Pakistan, I would place the concrete barriers like this so that we have a chance to shoot them as they drive through, you know, so that their big explosives in their vehicles don't get near the base camp and all. And yeah, Guniak, I built runways as well. It's pretty cool because along with us being airborne, we were able to drop our equipment out of a C-17 at 1,000 feet. We dropped 15 pieces into Afghanistan in the middle of the night. Laz, for the first time you're here. He always is making comments. He's one of the coolest guys. And this is one of the guys actually that got me to buy the Traxxas Summit, because he has Traxxas Summit videos and GoPro videos on his channel. And when he upgraded to a GoPro, I was just like, holy moly, bro, what did you do that your quality, your videos just shot through the roof? And he says GoPro. And I was like, Laz, man, I got to get a GoPro now. So yeah, and then back to the story, Guniak, is once the equipment, say, drops out, we're anywhere in the world we want to be. So we built a runway in the middle of nowhere. We landed a C-17 on a dirt runway in Afghanistan. We packed it so tight, packed the dirt so tight that the planes would come in and leave black marks on dirt. GB Linden in the house, along with Farmerman, Jeff in Lower Alabama. Welcome all, 19 in the room. Good stuff. Yeah, we've been through a little bit. You know what's funny, Guniak, is the dust is one of the things that kicked our butt the most. And everybody, if you would, welcome Laz One RC and Fun. He's out of, I want to say Sweden or Denmark. Denmark. Okay, there it is, Denmark. So yeah, welcome Laz One RC and Fun to the room. I'm going to give him a wrench. Pilot Ryan, what's up? What did you get, Pilot Ryan? As if you don't have enough. I don't think your wife would want to buy you something. Maybe a moment of time, right? To go film something. What did your wife get you? And anybody else? What did your spouses get you, or what did you buy yourself? Oh yeah, you know 11 Charlie, Laz? That's cool. First time I've seen the name. Yeah, it's definitely cool. Laz puts out all sorts of things. Boats, and he puts a GoPro on it, and you see him going under, and then he self-rights them and stuff like that. John Noon's Airborne RC, welcome to the room. We also have 11 Charlie RC in the room. EQ put out a video today. That was definitely nice. Nice to see that thing driving around on the asphalt. I tell you, I put a comment in there, I'd be too tempted to fly. You give me a stretch where I think I can make it, I'll push it. Ryan, show us, you stinker. Ryan's holding back. Can't say. Good stuff. So the Great Dane is proud to be a part of this. Definitely glad to have you here, Laz. I know the time doesn't always work out. Maybe you're doing some Christmas time over there as well. Tim Touton, hello, welcome. Just got back from looking at Christmas lights. Good stuff, Tim. We were just talking about whether we want to do lights on the lake, especially with my brother in town. But it's really cool. We have lights on the lake, Lake Onondaga. It is a static display that they put on, and people just drive through. It's like a mile. But then again, it's a mile, and it's like, okay, 4 kids and my brother in the car, and you can only smile and say, ooh, the light's so much. But I think, Tim, what you're talking about is like people's houses and stuff like that, where it's going to be different every year. You know, that stuff is good, especially if you know you got a nice neighborhood. Spill it, Ryan. Guniak is helping people out as always, doing some soldering. He's going to give us his tips on soldering here soon. I'll join him as well. I've been wanting to get a demo for soldering for a long time. GB is keeping his cards close to his chest. So one of the other things that I got, and I'd like to know what planes you guys got, or electronics, put it in the chat as to what you got. I know Wayne Lee said he got a GoPro 7. But I got 1.3 gigahertz transmitter and receiver, video transmitter, video receiver. So I'll be able to put that on things like my new Traxxas Summit and do long range missions with video. Now I don't have long range control, but when I fly it with a plane, I'll be able to set waypoints and just run its mission and then just have it come back. And I'll run it handrail to a road. So I'll be able to see if it goes down, but if it's running along that road and it does go down, I'll be able to drive. I'll know where it is and easily access it. So I'm going to send it. I won't have control, but I'll send it. But I'll have windows. Long range FPV stuff. Is that what you're saying that I got, or that's what you got? It would be cool if somebody else did get some more long range, but you start talking about it and people may start learning more of it, get more comfortable with it. $1 Million Homes, checking out the lights. Grosse Pointe Farms, home of Etzel Ford, definitely. So, and I have no idea where Etzel Ford, say, lived. I imagine it could be in Michigan somewhere. But Tim, I used to live down in West Palm Beach, Florida, and there's a big difference between West Palm Beach and Palm Beach. Yeah, definitely. 1.3 is the FPV stuff, and it's a big hurdle to get here, and it's a bigger hurdle to get off of 2.4 for control. But I figure if I get my video first to 1.3, and people have figured out the control with, say, Black Sheep at 933 with the appropriate filters to not get that interference, but I want to go with 433 for the control, which is even farther penetration, and then the 1.3 for video. The FCC, they play into it that, and the thing is that essentially everything we actually do, we're supposed to have a ham license, especially anything FPV. As soon as you do it, really, you should have a ham license, the first one. And it's not that difficult to get. Yes, I do have the Summit now, Laz, and it's your fault. So I am going to get my ham license just so I can make sure, hey, I may even learn something, you know what I mean? But I'll make sure I have it, and anything else. EQRC said he opened up a big gift of property taxes under his tree. So yeah, definitely, GB, very far with 1.3. And you get the right antennas, you get the right tracker, you can go basically as far as your batteries will take you. But back to my other thing. Oh, it is Michigan, Tim. The other thing that I was saying is, my mother, and we grew up very poor, she used to take us to Palm Beach, not West, but Palm Beach, the actual island, where the Kennedys, Trump, and, all of those people live. And it's crazy. The houses are just so nice, like marble driveways and all. But the crazy thing is that you're seeing $10 million houses go down so they could just build another house. That's what always stuck with me, along with how nice they are. Codeless technician is easy. Codeless Technician. Oh, that's, yeah, GB's talking about the level 1 for the ham license operator. I guess that may be the, I didn't hear the Codeless Technician. I just know it referred to as technician. Guniak says, when and if you can, check this out. My last long-range FPV flight was this. I flew an RC plane into a storm and got into a cloud suck. Was lots of fun. So cloud suck may be that he was spiraling up. I remember my first plane, and I couldn't get it down. And the guy said, you just, you know, and I'm sure Guniak knows I'm not trying to tell him or anything, but I'm just saying my story is I went back to the RC shop, and he's like, oh, yeah, you have to basically spiral down. You have to turn, you know, you have to prevent your wings from getting that lift. And Guniak may or may not have known that at that time, but some of those things, you know, they're going up so fast that even, say, full-scale pilots can't get out of the way of those clouds. And, you know, they can do all the spiraling they want, but there's enough friction from that air, and they're still going up. I'm going to see if I can open up that in another window. And if I go to a different chat, my same, and I'm going to have to put this on, you guys are going to hear me for a second. I'm going to mute it once it starts playing. Okay, it's already muted. I will go to this, open his in another. I'm going to my own stream from a third party so I can open up something. Oh, that's cool. I can see it already. Let me bring it over here so you guys can see it as well. And then he's got a little bit of volume in there. I'll go full screen.
Proper storm. Got a little frustrated because I thought we were driving away from stuff, but looks like we found one. Mike and Beth are in the background.
I can just hear him talking. So you're on the ground. Your plane is out there somewhere. Looks like you guys are storm chasers. That's what it looks like. Like an armored van.
Kind of scary. The flight was good.
Yeah, that's the thing about living in Florida. In Palm Beach, it's the lightning capital of the world.
Over 3,000 feet.
The corridor, and there's a lot of these storms.
Thankfully, wow, on-screen display showed me where home was. Turned back, fought through the wind, pointed the nose down. Even with the nose down, it was still climbing.
Yeah, he's saying, I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's saying even with the nose down, it was difficult.
It came right back when it was lightning. That's amazing. So all that time in the van paid off because this is pretty freaking sweet.
So I saw something about Nebraska. Somewhere in Nebraska. Were you flying from California and your plane is somewhere in Nebraska?
Hope you enjoyed the vid.
That is good stuff. Jeff in Lower Alabama, you got some good videos, mate. Thanks for sharing. Super cool, says Laz. Laz from Denmark. Yes, Laz, it was your videos, you know, that the Summit, as soon as I got into the hobby, the Summit was an attractive vehicle to me. The lock and diffs on the remote, you can choose just the front or the front and the rear on the remote, not on the fly. But then the 2 speeds you can choose on the fly. That is awesome. And then if I buy that little Bluetooth dongle thing or whatever for the remote, I can get some telemetry. So that would definitely be nice later on to have some telemetry in the remote, say going to my phone or something. But Laz also revived the want that I have for the Summit. It was almost like, holy crap, they still make that plane or that truck. And then along with his videos where he's putting that nice GoPro on and getting nice footage out there in the open field. Thank you, 11 Charlie. I appreciate you hitting the smash button. I see 7 of them so far. 20 people in the room. Definitely nice. Christmas special. Good to see everybody. Yeah, those videos of Laz, it is cool. And he also does some things where he puts some in the cockpit of, I believe it's the Beaver. I don't know what else he's done that. Lost a heli to a Dust Devil. What size? If you guys don't know John Nunes, he's opening up, as far as I'm concerned, the big boys. I don't even know if there's bigger RC helicopters, you know, that are widely available. But he's got the ones from Motion RC, the Black Hawk and the Apache, no, the Huey and the Apache that he is opening up and is going to be building up. It's a lot of work, though. Nine GoPros on the front of the plane. At one time, I don't get it. Yes, thank you, Hanger. Zoom is something I use. I actually just bought it for this because, especially like with this being a weekday, they could kick me out without a paid subscription. So I get it, Guniak. So I went ahead and purchased it. And then also at the same time, I went ahead and got a Patreon account. I know some of you guys, and I thank you, had said that, you know, one way or another, you'll support me in this if I put down the money. So definitely I got that Patreon account, and I will get you guys the link for that. But it is essentially Patreon and then the slash with Josh Weaver RC, spelled the same as my channel. So yeah, Guniak is saying that he interlaced 9 GoPros. So however many degrees he had, and it almost seems like, well, I was going to say less, but that's just 360 in one direction. He may be talking about he had some up and down as well. So, I don't know, full spherical view. Yeah, definitely a nice Apache that John Nunes has. And that thing's going to be insane to fly. John Nunes, what is that Apache going to be powered by? Can you fly it both electric and nitro as well? And then what will you have it? So, yeah, Guniak, what was the 9 GoPros? And then you didn't get the one where you could look around on the camera, right? Like, or how did you do that? And we could talk offline, but that's still pretty cool if it's a little too complicated to explain here. Maybe you just say added to where you wanted to see later on. But yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to try, and I had it there for a while, the split mini, run cam split mini. The thing about that is you're recording HD. So what I did was I put a servo and another servo, and I built a box for the camera, just as if it were on a quad, and had that on top of a servo. So on top of my Optera, I had it to where I could pan and then tilt and go down. And it was great, but what I didn't realize is once the AS3X kicks on, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself, so I just tied it in with the elevator and the ailerons. So when I turned left, it turned left. I went up, you know. But also the AS3X was making the camera do the micro adjustments the whole time. So I think it was doing that, unless it was just shaking, you know, whatever else on me. Deuces Wild watched Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. He may be talking to EQ, or EQ is listening. Well, no, wait. Star Trek. That's what EQ is on. If you guys watch some of EQRC's movies, the beginning of them has that Star Trek playing, and then you'll see him press pause. And there's more than one way to edit a movie, and he doesn't do editing. but you'll see he takes his time and gets quality movies to say press pause or add some music one way or another. I just got here. Gary, Merry Christmas. You know what got me excited when I started thinking about Star Wars and movies is I actually watched the trailer for Top Gun. It is going to be cool, you know, to be more so into planes and to know them and to know the history of it, to watch it this time around, and also try and get my kid, say, more so into it. You know, one of the guys that was talking about it, that reviewed it, you guys probably saw the video. He's like, you know, the original Top Gun, I was inspired by it. That's what inspired me, and I became a pilot from this. Michael Rochka, good evening. And one other person, if you guys would, welcome into the room, an RC brother from another mother, Controlled Chaos, that is similar to us all as well. He is saying, Merry Christmas, first time here, because he is not blue. So if you guys would, welcome Controlled Chaos to the room, and I will give him a wrench. Yes, definitely excited about that movie. You know, it's going to be cool to take, you know, my son or maybe even my daughters to that movie and just enjoy it. Enjoy the planes, enjoy the CGI of it, but then I'll try and just pretend it was like all real, you know what I mean? Because it is real jets. They just had to crop them together and everything else like that. Controlled Chaos, getting some subs, good stuff. Definitely check each other's channel out. Oh, and my wife has stopped in a little bit tonight, but she wasn't feeling well. Been working way hard, delivering a wonderful Christmas to my kiddies, my brother, myself. If you guys would, let us know what you got for Christmas. I got a GoPro 7 that I opened up a few days ago. Already been using it. More so for work, but that's why I opened it. And I also opened up and ran like 4 rounds today in a Traxxas Summit, a truck set that I've wanted since I've been in the hobby. And like I say, Laz, who's in the room now from Denmark, had that on there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that. And I saw all the things he did with it: low speed, high speed, mud, water, the lights, the lock-in differentials, the GoPro on top. And I'll be putting that GoPro on top and messing around with some telemetry to get the miles per hour. Laz, have you ever done that with your GoPro to try and afterwards, as long as you enable the GPS to be recorded during the run later on, either in the app or on the computer through GoPro Quick or whatever it is, you can say put the telemetry on and you can choose the miles per hour, the altitude, whatever else, and that'll show up on your film. I don't know how to get it out of there, like once you've applied that, but I'm sure it's not difficult to say do whatever else. Merry Christmas, Wreckham Roy. Hello, how are you? From the great state of Washington, way out yonder from me. Deuces Wild says, the next 3 movies I want to see is 1917, Top Gun, naturally, and Wonderful Woman, because she's kind of hot. I wonder what way, because I don't know what that movie is, Wonderful Woman, but I'll be watching the trailer here soon. EQRC says, oh, she's hot. What kind of work do I do? So actually, Wayne Lee, this would be a good time for an announcement. So I transitioned. I was in IT full. I'm reading the Be Aware of Summit Servo issues out of the box. Controlled Chaos, definitely. If you would, say, post a comment on my channel anywhere or after this so I can get back at you and find out. You know what you mean. because I'll definitely try and pay attention to that. So my job now is technical still, but I am doing 3D printing. 3D printing everything from PLA, but the bigger money makers are the metal 3D printing. So right now we have 2 machines. We're going to have more, but a lot of it will be prototyping as well. So a machine that I'm going to be trained on and running here soon. We went and seen it. It is a Mitsubishi. You know how we have the hot wire foam cutters? Well, this machine is an electric discharge machining, EDM. Essentially, it's like CNC, where you're going to put in a program and run it, except this is running down to the microns, able to cut metal so precise that when you fit it together, you won't be able to see the face of it. You won't be able to see that gap. That's how precise it is. So it's the extreme hot wire foam cutter. And some of these parts I'll be modeling are for Lockheed, for NASA. Some of the things that 3D printing can do metal-wise that other things can't do is, the way I was talking to my brother is, think about a glove on your hand, and then you take that glove off, and so the glove is still here. And how are you going to say machine that shape? You know, you're not going to get something in there to do that. But yet that 3D printer can print that along with the fingers and all of that. And, you know, he's smart, so he recognizes it too. He says, plus, it'll leave your fingerprint in there. I mean, that's how good some of these machines are. They can, you know, on the inside of a glove. And why that's so important is, if you guys think of the cooling that you're going to need on a jet nozzle or rocket nozzle, you're going to want the cooling to go inside. And now this really does, this 3D metal printing revolutionizes rockets and what you can do. So that's why this is impressive. That's why I'm lucky that, you know, I got into this where I am. And why I say that is, this is a startup, but it has already hit the ground running hard. We have customers already. We are waiting on our machines. We're going to be working. We're going to be hiring. And it is also veteran owned, veteran operated, and it will be owned by the veterans. I'll be the first person in. I'll have the lion's share. I'll eventually be running this business, you know, to the best of my capability, if I can run it on my own. And, you know, my boss, great guy who's starting it, if he gets out in 5 years and I'm completely capable of running it, like I told him in the interview, what I'm going to do in 5 years is having a conversation with you and saying, hey, what do you want to do with your passion now? Do you want to start another business, or do you want to take your money and say, go out and visit vets and, you know, help them out? He's a fly fisherman. That's what he likes to do. And I can just imagine how peaceful that is and how you can get in the right mindset like that. Gary's saying he's been considering a 3D printer. And here's the thing, Gary, I would suggest you do it. And I told this guy that I don't have 3D printing experience. And so he was hesitant to hire me, but he could see from my resume how technically capable I am. And I said, you know, you have to have confidence in my confidence. But I told him, I said, I don't have experience in it, because I knew once I started 3D printing, I would dive into it. I would just be printing everything and everything. And now here it is. Something breaks, and I'm like, I can 3D print that, you know. Yeah, Guniak, I appreciate you. Congrats. It was a big risk for my family. I left, say, the corporate world, you know, the sort of place where people sit in chairs from 8 to 8 and they get promoted and they tell you, oh yeah, just wait your turn and you'll get promoted. And it's not like I was rushing, but at the same time, it was funny because it blew his mind that somebody else got promoted, say straight to this, that, and the other. And he was like, I don't understand how this works. And I'm like, you don't understand anything. You're just sitting in your desk. How can you understand anything? You work on Excel sheets all day. You guys got me ranting. You work on Excel sheets all day, but yet you don't even know what a binary Excel sheet is. And so your Excel sheets are all bloated. And I'm like, is there any reason that I'm looking at his Excel sheet and I'm saying, is there any reason why you wouldn't have binary? And binary is just ones and zeros. So can you just represent it 1 and 0? Do you have any graphics or anything else like that? And it's like, no. And actually, I think it was maybe even my brother who's visiting that told me that one. It's funny how smart he is for where I may go. In college, I didn't want to do coding, and yet I got out of college with a civil engineering degree, and they said, hey, you want to come work for Accenture, the world's largest IT? And I was like, yeah, sure. You guys pay me more than civil engineers. So I did that. And then, yeah, that led me to this. So I am hired on as the technical director of this company, which is Vetted Tech out of Syracuse, New York. It is great because, like I say, it is veteran started, veteran run. We're going to be doing things with Lockheed for veterans that are still going to be flying. I may have parts that I print going to space. That would just be awesome. I did see Mary Boozer in the room. He said he got a lump of coal. Well, I'm glad that everybody else got what they wanted for Christmas. And he sacrificed. That's nice. Tim Toutant says, on the carrier USS Independence, a carrier. I got to get my mindset around that, the carrier. 5,000 people nowadays running a ship. You know what I mean? That's impressive. CVA 62. I ran the ACLS. I almost know what that is. Automated Carrier Landing System. Okay, I didn't know what that was. Brings the jet to the deck. Pilot's hands off. That is insane. That can do that. I mean, the telemetry and all of the information going back and forth, Tim, that's impressive that we can do those things. Let's see. So yeah, Controlled Chaos says months ago swapped most of the servos on the Summit. Yeah, I definitely want to take it as easy as possible on that Summit to not spend money. And yeah, John Nunes is saying, I didn't know the GoPro did that. That's it. I'm getting one. Definitely, here it is. I'm looking at other things. I have a plane that will send back the signal with the telemetry, and I can record it there. And then I have the HD that I can record, say either on a Runcam 2 or a GoPro, but I can't embed the telemetry on board for that. So the only thing that I could do, and it's decent, is on my VTX itself, after the camera, after the flight controller, which embeds the on-screen display, I have a DVR on the VTX. So that way I can have the clear view of the telemetry for review, along with I'll have the live broken up, right? But, like I say, I won't be able to put that over full screen. GoPro can do that afterwards, and you can move it wherever you want to. And I'm sure you can move it for different clips or whatever else, It's impressive. I would definitely go for, one thing that I wanted to go for, GoPro 7 instead of 8, and maybe they'll figure it out, but I want to be able to get video out. And I may say use that and get a live feed out and then send that back. And that way I'll also have quality and the telemetry on the plane onto that quality. And then it'll also record higher quality itself. It's only going to let so much out. But yeah, that's why I have the GoPro 7. My wife was smart enough to get me that because it's not as expensive. But if I had my choice, I think I would have went with 7 because I know that I can get that video out and run it instead of another camera and the HD camera. Laz says, I'm no tech nerd, but I have to try to get the numbers on the screen next time. Definitely, Laz. It's really about the app for GoPro or the GoPro Quick or whatever it is. If you look at basically look up, GoPro miles per hour, you'll see some videos and stuff like that. They definitely walk you through it. I see Hanger 51 saying, you got Lori, you don't need anything else. He's right about that. Wonder Woman can hang out with me anytime. Wreckham Roy says that. I wonder if that's what Deuces meant instead of he put Wonderful Woman. Maybe he meant that. Where I was like, did he mean Wonder Woman? So he must. Maybe that's a movie coming out. I wish I were more into movies and kept up with it more, but I definitely can't. Wild Bill says, my wife is not hanging out with you, Roy. And not just because Wild Bill's in Arizona and Roy's in Washington. That's not the only reason his wife's not hanging out with him. And Roy says, yeah, LOL. Oh, so they are plastic gear? Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try not to strip them. We'll see what happens. Wire EDM charges a wire used to cut. Yes, charges a wire. And I don't really know the voltage. I don't think it's a lot for it, but it really is an impressive machine. It's such a small wire. It's a big old spool, and it essentially is continually running because it wants fresh wire. I thought that was interesting because it's then spitting it out and chopping it because it wants such precise cut. So it's always using and throwing away wire. Let's see. Eric EQ said made a video of dog fights, but YouTube didn't like that. Oh, yeah, dog fights. Yeah, gotcha. Michael Vick dog fights. And like I say, Roy's talking about also getting a 3D printer. You know, I would say for sure that this hobby and a lot more people should have one. There's a few people that are very handy, and I'll do a shout out as well to Dustin, also known as Raven Rock Machining. What else is his name? Raven Rock Machining and RC. Maybe he throws in an RC in there. But he helped me out a lot with the Fusion 360 software. That was a recommendation from RC Air Marshall, otherwise known as Dave Marshall. And then once I found out Raven Rock, Dustin was basically a guru in it. He sat down with me and walked through that software. It was a great session. I want to check my time, make sure we're not bumping up against GB. So yeah, get a 3D printer and start doing it up. I think they are a couple $100, but there's so many things that you can print, and I'll tell you, if there is a fear for it, some of the ways to get over that is you can get the files from online. I know somebody's going to be able to put that in there, the spot where there's a lot of known files. I'm blanking on the name right now. But you go there and you get Thingiverse or something like that. You get the files. You can load them to your printer through your slicer and print. You don't have to do the designing. And a lot of the things are standard, so you can get some help with some of the settings, but a lot of times too, you just don't want to mess it up. There's enough experience out there that people will give you good advice. Like, for example, Dustin says, and he even sent me pictures through Messenger. He says, yeah, get the purple glue stick from Elmer's. And I know this is a pen, but he says, get the purple glue stick. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get the purple. Don't know why versus whatever else, but he's like purple. And sure enough, with this machine, and this was a little higher end machine for, say, commercial use, a lot of the machines you can get into the market are, a couple $100, $200-300, and you're up and running. This machine was about $4,000, but along with the contents was Elmer's purple glue. And I'm like, damn, how good of a recommendation is it that he gave me that's what it is. Wayne Lee says, I'm up on EDM. I work with the EDM shop in Santa Ana here in California. Wayne Lee, you just became my best friend. I'm going to get with you. Definitely, if you got time, and see what you know, see how you can help me out. One of the things that I'm going to be doing first is cutting a dog bone so that they can put it into a machine and do a stress test on it. This company that is near us, they don't have enough. They're doing mass printing, and so they don't have enough time to use their machines to do this. They don't have enough machines, so they're giving us this work. But they're already sending parts to NASA from their 3D printers. I'm going through the chat. As soon as I roll, the Fred Bear in RC is in the house. Hello. As soon as I roll down, it skips to the bottom, so it's like I lost my spot, lost my bookmark. I just got here. Gary has got to go. See you later, Gary. Probably already gone. So I'm scrolling back up. GB says, congrats, Josh. Thank you. And definitely welcome for my service and many others along the way. Wreck and Roy in all caps. I appreciate that. That yelling by Wreck and Roy makes me feel home every once in a while to see his all caps. Josh, congrats on the new job. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, Bill, I'm pushing the boundaries. It was also a risk. I didn't tell you guys, but I stayed out of work because I'm not going to go back to the corporate world where they're just so locked into the mindset. Me, the way I am, I have to have wins. I can't sit around and say, oh, I'll be patient. I'll do this. No, I want to innovate. I want to integrate. I want to move to the next step. I want to do things that people say can't be done, and I do them. If I didn't have a history of successes, I could be content, but I can't be content sitting around. So that's why the corporate world is just, why is Army backwards, says Jim Terror. YMRA. Let's see if he gave us the answer. Jim Terror. I don't see it. Why is Army backwards? What is that? What does that spell backwards? I don't know that I remember it. Laz is saying the GoPro 5 is black. 5 black is also good. I got the 5 and 7.5 on my head, and the 7 on the planes or cars is superb combination. That's the thing, Laz, is I was looking at the 8, and it has the Hyper Smooth 2, but I don't think for our needs we need that. I mean, you may actually, because you put a GoPro on a mountain bike, and you've got one sweet mountain bike where you may be doing, jumps where you could use that Hyper Smooth so it knows where it does the predictive analytics to where it knows where you may go using it, accelerometers and gyros in there in the previous scenes. But for airplanes and trucks, I don't think it's shaking that much. I think the Hyper Smooth 1 is going to be good enough. Now I want more rum. Go get you some more rum, Wreck 'em Roy. Typos via autocorrect. Ho ho and a bottle of rum, don't you know? Definitely Deuces Wild. Controlled Chaos. I'm still using GoPro 5 Black for most of my footage. Run cam in conjunction. You know, I believe it's all the way down to the 5. It may that has the telemetry on the GoPro. RC Air Marshal in the house. Merry Christmas, guys. And then I'm reading Wreck 'em Roy's comment. Not much, King Turd. What's up, turds? That was RC Air Marshal's entrance. GB Linden's got the GoPro 7. You know, GB, I think, and I know you do some editing. I think with that GoPro 7, if it is on 4K, I think I could get away with doing some zooming in post so that I can put it almost stationary or just do a general tracking, and then I can zoom so it's hat cam, but it's not hat cam. And another idea you guys can take from me is that if you have Wayne Lee saying, Josh, on Google, look up the EDM shop. I'll do that. And Deuces Wild is saying, yeah, he was a machinist for 20 years, 1988 to 2008. It was a good trade. Definitely, Deuces. I know you worked on a lot of great projects as well. So one thing I'll give to you guys, it's very technical if you want to do it, but I'm going to try it because I want to have tracking on my plane anyway, as far as, so some of you guys don't necessarily do the FPV, but if you were to consider a video signal that is going all the way around in a sphere, it can't do that big sphere as powerful, say at a certain distance, as if it were just shooting basically a laser beam, right? I mean, laser is concentrated light. So if you have a linear or concentrated video signal and you're pointing it at your plane, you're going to more so be able to pick up that plane, but you got to be able to point it at the plane at all times. So how you do that is on your video transmitter, you have encoded the GPS coordinates in your audio or video, depending on whatever device you have doing it. And when it gets back into a tracker that is set up to interpret that, decode that, it essentially just points at wherever that GPS signal is. So if you were to put on those two components on a plane, you don't have to be flying FPV, you don't have to actually be running a camera. You just have to have a GPS device, the encoder, and the VTX. And that will allow, here's the key, for somebody to put a camera, like let's say a high quality GoPro, on a tracker. And no matter where that plane is, it's going to keep it centered and it's going to be on that. And that's going to ease your editing later on so that you're able to just simply do the zoom right in the middle of the screen, the pan tilt, and it's not going to be too difficult. For me, I can take, and I'll push the zooming on my videos, whether it's 4K on my phone or GoPro or RunCam 2 or whatever else that, whatever media I have. But I'll push that to where I'll zoom in, and sometimes I'll do frame by frame to do an ultra smooth. I'll make sure the same spot of the plane is in the same frame. And that's how some of my video is so smooth. That's like hand done. And then sometimes I'll do a pan zoom and spot to spot. But it's going to be revolutionary if I can get a GoPro to track that plane. They have devices like this, but I think the telemetry, the signal, was not strong enough, or it just doesn't work well enough to track these planes. But I know I've seen these trackers, and now they're getting to the price point where it makes a lot of sense. So definitely, I'm going to be doing that. If anybody wants to take my idea, put a GoPro on a tracker, go for it. Oh, the other thing that I got, GB, you'll be interested in this, is I got from my parents-in-law, thank you very much, Real Flight 9. So I'm definitely going to be, along with my job, being very busy, I'm going to be doing the virtual flying a lot more, along with the buddy virtual flying. So GB, we're setting a date. Wife, he's a guy and he's in Washington, so it's not that kind of date. We're fly buddies. Actually, she already makes fun of me about who I have a date with on, Friday night or what night, who am I going on a date with tonight in these live streams. Especially, this is more so when I was watching them. And I see somebody put Dave in all caps. So which Dave is that? I don't know which one they were referring to, but that's cool. Let me go through this. I must relish Army. I wonder if he was possibly talking about Jim Terra's comment. I missed it. Jim Terra, if you could complete that joke, why is Army backwards? And then Hangar 51, Kenny, is saying Wes, spill. And is anybody else giving Pilot Ryan trouble anymore? Give it to him, because he wasn't spilling either about what he got. Ryan's got something up his sleeve. Yeah, there's somebody giving it to him. Says he ain't talking. We need some pressure. Yeah, Wayne Lee. Let's give Ryan some pressure. Reckenroy says Dustin is a smart guy. Yeah, he is. It was nice to get his input. Kind of like, say, getting some input from how Guniak is doing some soldering. Because you guys know he's making those by hand. He's custom making those lights, the LEDs. And you got to be precise with that stuff. I've messed around with some of it. It's not, some of it is easy. Some of it is difficult. And when I say easy, you got to know what you're doing. You got to have the right tools and the little tips. But no matter what, some of it is difficult. I messed around with taking COB LEDs, chips on board, like the actual chips themselves, off of the board. You got to get the whole board hot and then move the chip. And I tried to take that and then put it on a wire, and I got it working. So it lit up and it was nice and bright. COB LEDs are bright. But I also found out there's a reason why they're on the board. The board is the backing, the strength. It doesn't have strength on its own, so it broke, especially when it goes through the heat. And I probably gave it too much heat. And you guys that are machinists, you'll know. You can't, you got to control your heat. You got to control your speed. Fred Barron says, hi, Chaos. Hey, Chaos. Fred Barron is a well-established member in all the rooms, so it's definitely a privilege that he's saying hello to you. A new person, that is nice. Fred Barron has quite the hanger, Chaos, if you don't know. Maybe you guys do. It's always nice when circles are touching circles. I'm just thinking, am I so over the board with my Army career that I know what not to say to try and be polite, that I'm not getting much? That's what she said. I think in my head, that's why I may stutter sometimes, is don't say that's what she said joke. Laz is saying exactly, but depending on how much super smooth shots you want, the 7 is the winner for sure. Yeah, especially with the price. A camera reversal is what Tim Toutant says. I don't know. Oh, why is Army backwards? I thought you were saying a joke, Ter. Yeah. This camera is backwards. So that's why it's coming out on the screen. So if I ever point something like this, then you guys know why. I mean, I'm sure I could say flip it and maybe I'll have a reason to. Maybe that's enough. Yeah. But it is on my left, say, breast. It's not on my right, as you guys see. So that's why Army is backwards. This is a legit Army coat. I thought you were going to make a joke and give me an acronym like, Ford, found on road dead. YMRA. GB was saying his PC can only do 180. My PC can do 4K, but I tell you, anytime I put one video on top of another video where my computer's having to figure them both out at the same time, it doesn't like it. So I learned a long time ago, figure out what you need. Don't just stack. I tried one day to stack, like, I have a great video I'll release sometime. It's got a Spitfire crashing into a tree, and I got it on film. And I got the chase from a quad. But when I first did it, and when I was first into editing, I put like 3 different camera views on the same timeline. And all of a sudden, my computer was like, "You're crazy. I'm not doing this for you." Jeff in Lower Alabama said, "Just updated mine yesterday. Hope it helps with tuning it up by the top button between flights." With turning it up by the top button between flights. Turning it on. Yeah, it'll probably be nice to have a little quick control. I haven't enabled the voice commands on the GoPro yet, but when I figure them out or when I watch a video, that would be nice. You could also RC Air Marshal. He's enjoying picking out the obvious on me. You could also just get your hot lady friend to hold the camera to do actual zooming while filming the planes. You're right, Air Marshal, and I do have a lovely wife who actually has filmed for me, and it's great that is the video that for the Cessna flights you guys said was the best part of the video. And it was at the end of it showing some twilight hours filming, and it was wonderful. I still appreciate it because she held it so steady even though there were mosquitoes biting her hands, and I'm like, you didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. I could have edited around it, but she did it. She didn't know, or she wanted to do it anyway, and as you guys know, she's definitely supportive of my hobby a lot, and I owe her tons. But that was a great video. One of the reasons why I liked it is I was so far out that when I came in, all of a sudden, all you see was the LEDs on the Cessna. And I did a nice approach as if it were a full-size plane. And the direction that it came in and the wind was perfect that day, the lighting, the background. So I was able to bring it in right towards us and land it right there, wheels down. Great shot. And then we let my kid chase around the plane. But with the prop, the safest thing for me to do on the ground was just keep it away from him. He was much slower than the plane. And I ran it all the way around the parking lot, and he chased it the whole way, and he wasn't going to stop. And I'm like, what else can I do to be safe? I took off again, and he was like, "Oh, I chased it." And so we got that on film. That's learning quality filming of the Cessna. Because somebody had a DLSR camera that was shooting on it, and someone else had a nice handheld that was shooting on it with lots of zooming, and I was playing for the camera. Controlled Chaos says, "I got cut off web show." Not sure what that means. Deuces Wild says, "I never ran wire EDM, but my cousin did, and I knew what it was all about. I have done single point threading, broaching, knurling, universal grinding, 5-axis milling, indexing, rotary, and table." I still need to get my head around what 5-axis milling is. I think it's, you have an upper and a lower maybe, something like that, along with you could have your actual control, your actual mount, your tombstone or something having spin too. That's where you get your 5-axis from. Wayne Lee, is it snowing up there in Syracuse? No, we have snow on the ground, but it's also been warm a little bit during the day, so a little bit is melting. And then just as wild says Blanchard grinding, etc. Yeah, I don't even know what a lot of that is. I wish I did. Jeff says, I have a nice zoomy camera, but no one to use it. I use it when I film others. That's almost sad, Jeff. Zoomy camera. Zoomy lonely. It doesn't have anybody else pushing its zoom buttons. It is something that we appreciate. And some of the planes we fly, they are not easy to film. Some of the jets, and if it is that, you know, you're not used to flying with them, it makes it difficult. Plasma cutting metal is kind of fun too. It definitely is. I haven't done it. I think I will. Hey, Raven Rock is in the house. I was talking about you. Is that why you came? Captain Photon in the house as well. It's funny, the chat just like went down. Deuces Wild says, Rhonda, Merry Christmas. Definitely, she did wonderful for my kids, for myself, for my brother who's joined us. John, are you by chance here? And then also my other brother, Jamie. I know he subscribed to me, but I don't know if he can catch my stream live or anything at his location. He may not have data. So, hello, Jamie, if you're watching the replay. Hello, John, if you're upstairs and saying I'm not watching. He's probably playing with the kids. Driver returns on foot. DROF. Forward. Backwards. RCR Marshall says, that's my job, man. I'm here to make sure the chat goes as far downhill as possible. It depends on what kind of night RCR Marshall's having. But I think if you get Bledsoe and Captain and Deuces and RCR Marshall going, that chat can go down quick. Okay. Fred Barron, you must relish Army. YMRA. I'm not sure what the relish means on that, but I don't know. I was so confused earlier as to what Jim Terra was saying about why it's backwards. Yes, Captain, I appreciate you saying my wife should feel better. I think, you know, you get to the point where you can settle down for a moment and your brain says, I can take a break. And she also got a headache, like say right before the show. So you definitely want to appreciate what you have and not say, hey, you know, join the show. She got everything working well, kept the house clean, cleaned it even after the presents, lots of presents, and 4 kids. They all got something. Hardly any tears. But that was actually my favorite times was when one daughter opened up a gift that she got for all sisters, and the other sisters were like yelling at her, why are you opening up a gift for everybody else? And I said to the little one, screw them, open it up. And the other one on her new desk just sat down and cried. Captain Photon says he's not the shit starter, he's the shit ender. I didn't start it, but I'll end it. I appreciate that compliment, Captain Photon. I don't want to okay, he wasn't complimenting me. I can read it. He says Josh is one of the best guys out there. Well, he tells me that daily. It's always Captain Morgan live stream. Raven Rock Aviation. That's what his name was. I was trying to figure out his name earlier, how it is all done. I was thinking it was RC. He says it is Raven Rock Machine and Aviation. I just got home from being at the in-laws all day. Are you trying to get us to feel sorry for you, Raven Rock or Dustin? Hopefully it was a good day for you, though. I'm sure it was. I appreciate it, Wayne. Speaking of show, I got to make sure I'm not pushing too hard up against GB. It's 9:17. GB is setting up now. I think Christmas he didn't work, so he should be ready anytime. And yeah, Bill's saying his job is boring. He's a painter. He's been doing it for a while. Tuesday says, bringing down the quality of your streams, one comment at a time. And now, okay, I'm trying to figure out this one from RC Air Marshal, whether I can read it out loud or not. Let me try and say this as professional as possible. This episode has been brought to you by Young Men's Rectal Association. Young Men's Rectal Association. I don't know why you're putting that, RC Air Marshal. I'm just going to go with it. Shelby, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you back. Must have been busy. A Merry Christmas to everyone. And a Merry Christmas to you as well, Shelby. What you been doing here lately? How is that jet? I know you haven't posted a video. It'd be cool if sometime you did, but it's all good. You know, worry about flying it first. You're getting some flights on that jet you made. If you would, tell the chat about it a little bit as well. He put a nice, very nice motor in it. We are all packed in our own juices. Some of us have fermented longer. Definitely Deuces. I think you got a lot of wisdom as well, along with quality taste that first attracted me to your channel, to the things that you do. I think I'm starting to see your real world wisdom as well. How you can relate things, especially through words. Raven Rock said her daughter got spoiled. Oh, nice. Wow, at the in-laws as well. Yeah, my neighbors, they say I got in-laws, and, you know, when you get, say, married or your parents get married and you have more parents-in-law, I don't know. But, yeah, he says he's got like 3 of everything on his kid's first birthday party. Probably burnt out. Could be a lot of us. My wife was going and going. Like, she was up in the kids' room cleaning. And I'm like, it's Christmas. I'm napping. How are you doing this? But she does. Captain Photon says he blames Mike mostly about all the chat issues. Mike, otherwise known as Deuces Wild. Mike can get on fire sometimes, that's for sure. Tim Toutant says now he's an OSHA training specialist. That's good. That's important stuff. That's probably why they got you doing it. My sense is you're pretty smart and experienced. Ah, the YMRA. Yes, it is. It is a legit jacket, but it is backwards. So another. Let's see. Zippy compact. Also, as you guys can see, backwards. Yeah, what is that? Glory? Those people that steal glory from the military and all? Yeah, I'm not one of those. Bunch of a-holes, says Wayne Lee. Oh, he may be talking about OSHA. Oh, Wayne Lee deal with the OSHA? Captain Photon says, Dave, I was just thinking about my Young Men's Rectal Association appointment today. Thanks, dude. I'll make sure to mark that on my calendar. And bring the KY. I'm hoping if my young loved ones are in the room, that one went right over. Landing gear, leg broke. Editing on replacement. Nice. Good stuff. Well, the editing is nice. The landing gear breaking is not nice. I used to say cool to everything. Just like, cool. People be like, how's that cool? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't really even listening anyway. It's cool. How we doing on time? 9:22. And I'll check in with GB. I don't have my phone, GB. But let's see. Wild Bill says Sailor Jerry has good rum. Okay. Mike SSI, he's got it. He watches the show in a mirror, so he's got it. He's got it all good. Sup, tube? That must be in the tube deep. Good stuff. Let's see if I can go to that other one and pick up that that chat or that video from the chat. See what that video is. Says the eye. He says the iMovie gnomes just fell asleep long enough to export a SU30 vid from Saturday. All right, let's see if we can get a. We're running a little low on time, so I'm going to cut to the good parts over here, and then. Oh, I see some nice paint. Let me bring this over so you guys can see it. You know what's weird too is my chat on this side, it likes to like skip down. Oh, and then Shelby's got a video as well. Let me pause this one because that one's ready to go. I'll get the one from Shelby. Let's see. He says, lady video I made, no flight video, RBC 90mm Skyray. And Captain Photon is speaking the gospel about Dustin, who said, Captain Photon, I'll probably have the male doctor dress up like cowboy cheerleader to make it easier. Yep. Sounds about right. Yep. And let me put this video up of Shelby Seabach's plane. It's definitely nice. Yeah, a lot of this was done by hand by Shelby. Quality stuff. I was impressed. And he's got a lot of videos like this. You guys can see. And he put the video in the chat. But it's nice to learn from stuff like this. That it's different. Something that I haven't done. I haven't built stuff like this, you know. I'm more likely to do electronics and learn electronics. I think, yes, I know Shelby is a plumber. So that's where a lot of his experience is coming from for building and all. So he's not afraid to tackle that. And then towards the end, he gets the, oh yeah, there you go. Gets the whole plane in the shot. And plumbers, they're kin to sailors. I found that out from, let me get this other video up here from In the Tube Deep. Looks like the launch here soon. Look at that bird running away. Do I run? Do I fly away? What is this thing? What's it gonna do? The air brake. That guy thought I was yelling at him. What was he? Were you talking to the camera? Or were you just excited and he thought you were yelling at him? Oh, that's cool to see that shake. And then the takeoff. You know, for that Spitfire video that I have, and I'll eventually do it. I'll eventually edit it up. But it's cool because I see the horizon on my Spitfire, and I also see the horizon from the quad. And the quad is literally just chasing me, and the horizons are the same from both the onboard video that I have and from the quad. So it's cool like that. Let's see if I can catch this landing. If you guys don't know In the Tube Deep, he always brings it to us from different angles. So you don't know, what spot. Oh, look at that. He's fighting it, but he got it. Very nice landing. Oh, man, it looked like it did a little jump there at that water flowing through. Like it went down and then popped up. Rider in the storm. Yeah, he's probably talking about it or shows it in the video. But yeah, definitely go check out these two guys' channels. Taking it easy over that little ditch now, right? Plumbers and sailors are similar because the language. We like to expose our cracks to anyone who is willing to look. Oh, he's definitely cracking on you for that. All right, so how are we doing on time? We are at a couple minutes. But I tell you, I'd keep going. But then again, it's also very nice that GB is going to take over. And you guys, if you would, stick around, join his show. I will put in his link to his show within here at 9:30. That way you guys, whether you're on mobile or PC, will just be able to click and go right on over. So you don't necessarily have to go over beforehand. I'll put the link in there for you. In the Tube Deep says SU30 is awesome, and it is. We are at 9:29. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, for coming. I certainly appreciate joining Josh Weaver RC. It is actually your show, even though it's my stream. But tonight we were a little bit less on showing your videos. We will get back to that at any time. It was nice that a couple of people did have that. 9:30 coming up. I will get you the link. Thank you all for signing in, telling us good jokes that were at this level, and some here's underneath the table. I will see you all later. Thanks again for coming for the Christmas special. Josh Weaver, RC, out. Let me get you guys the link. GB. I'm sure I'm going to see that. Okay. I got the link. Here it is. And it is 9:30. I certainly appreciate it, GB. I'm going to let this ad play for you for that one over on this other screen. I just want to subject my audience to peace, pilots, and Merry Christmas, says the Deuces. I certainly appreciate it, Wreckham Roy. To all, a good night. Well placed, Shelby Seabuck. Well placed. Controlled Chaos. Until next time, well, thanks, man. It'd be nice to have you back. That is definitely cool. Wild Bill says, my uncle is a command sergeant major in the Army. In the Tube Deep says, Josh, you got to grab the SU-30. Eventually, I know you weren't here earlier in the Tube Deep, but I just grabbed a new job where I'm the technical director of a startup company hitting the ground running with customers already in the door for metal 3D printing. I'm going to be printing stuff that's going to be going into space, which is awesome. Super excited and stoked. I'm still letting the ad play over here for GB. You guys should probably go over there now. Yes, it is time. Go over there now. I'm still catching up with the comments. Captain Photon says, Mike. Shelby Seabox says, Spectrum or Futaba. Deuces Wow says, don't break my balls or crack my walnuts. Shelby Seabox, it's coming. Controlled Chaos, glad to hear on that upgrade. Shelby, in the Tube Deep, was windy as hell. Captain Photon, do the beach cops ever break your balls? And I can tell you one of the things that in the Tube Deep did was go to the cops and say, hey, is it all right? We're on the beach. All right, cool. I'm going to end my stream officially. Happy landings in 2020, says in the Tube Deep. Greg says, Josh, to you and yours, enjoy. Thank you, Craig. I certainly appreciate it. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, have a good night. I am ending this chat. Go to GB Show.
My stripper cam, my initial webcam that kind of got me hooked on doing these streams. So yeah, shout out to Dustin. Raven Rock Machining and Aviation, I think, is his current name. He's changed it a few times recently, so doing my best